Welcome to the Vibrant Yogi Podcast, where we explore what it means to live fully, even when life gets hard. I'm your host, Kelsey, founder of the Vibrant Yogi app, writer, and stage 4 cancer thriver, here to hold space for healing, growth, and real, honest conversations. Whether you're here for inspiration, wellness tools, or a gentle reminder that you're not alone, I promise you're in the right place. Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Vibrant Yogi Podcast. Today's episode is a big one. We are talking all about toxic positivity. And so it's this sneaky, kind of subtle mindset that shows up in our culture, especially in the wellness space, where if we could just be a little bit more positive, if we could see everything as sunshine and rainbows, then we are doing a good job. And so if you've ever felt like you've had to stay positive in the face of heartbreak or illness, burnout, or even just a bad day, then this episode is for you. So what is toxic positivity? Well, it's this belief that we should always maintain a positive mindset no matter how hard life gets. And for me in the cancer world, I can tell you that I have perpetuated this cycle where we pretend that everything is okay, that we are fine. We put on this strong front, and it actually can do so much more harm than benefit. And I am not trashing a positive mindset. I think that is absolutely critical, but I also think that there is a time and a place where we absolutely need to feel these emotions, where we need to sit in the shit and not feel bad or blame or shame ourselves for doing it. Some examples of what people might say when they're trying to help you feel better, right? We know that it comes from a place of love, but it actually tries to negate your feelings. They want you to feel better instead of sitting in it. So things like, it could be so much worse, or look on the bright side, or everything happens for a reason. That one's my favorite. Or even just like hashtag good vibes only. These things on the surface are so harmless, but underneath they often silence that real emotion that you're feeling. So like the grief, the anger, the disappointment, right? It kind of sweeps that under the rug and it's like, come on, just put on a happy face. You can do this. And that can be so detrimental to our healing and to our overall feelings of well-being. So of course, in our own lives, we've all experienced it, but one for me that was particularly frustrating was when I found out that I would be doing chemo the first time that I was diagnosed, and I knew I was going to lose my hair, or I thought I was going to lose my hair, but people would say to me, oh, it's just hair, it'll grow back. And I felt so stifled when people would say that to me. I'd be like, it is not just hair. It is my identity. It is my feelings of well-being. It is being able to go to the grocery store and people not looking at you like you're dying. Like, to me, the idea of losing my hair was so much more. And when people would say that, like, it's just hair, it would make me feel like I was being so vain, or, like it made me feel shameful about how I was actually feeling. And like I had to be like, okay, you're right, it is just hair. And so it didn't allow me that time and that space to process the grief, the loss, all of the bullshit that comes along with that. And the same goes for, like, if you lose someone you love, like they're in a better place now, you're like, that doesn't make me feel better. I want to just feel like shit. And those people, although they mean so well and they're doing their absolute best to try and support you and help you through this, they're not holding space for you, which in times of extreme stress is exactly what you need. I feel like toxic positivity is so dangerous because it creates shame around challenging emotions. It kind of conditions us to step away from them, to not feel them, to numb them. Maybe we drink too much or eat when we're feeling lonely, or we shop too much, right? It really teaches us not to feel the emotions and to numb things, when really the way through healing is to feel the emotions, as uncomfortable as they are. And the more that we do that, the more that we sit in those emotions, the more confidence we get that we can handle things, right? So in a way, toxic positivity kind of robs you of resilience. It robs you of your ability to experience and grow and build confidence in yourself that you really are able to handle these emotions. I also think that toxic positivity is a way of isolating ourselves, right? We'll see other people go through it, and if they're like, oh, keep on keeping on, and you don't see that anyone else is struggling, you can feel really alone and start to feel like, what is wrong with me? Why am I the only one who is going through this situation, who can't seem to get their shit together? And then we layer judgment on top of expectation, and it just bogs us down even more. And so it makes the path through healing so much more challenging, because then we have to unpack those layers before we can actually get to the root issue of the emotions and the experiences that we didn't allow ourselves to feel. The other thing with toxic positivity is that I feel like it teaches us to mistrust our feelings rather than to listen to them. So if the body is feeling threatened or sad or grief or anger, and someone comes along or we come along and we're like, okay, we got to just push through, our body starts to shut down. That mind-body connection starts to really, really break down, because our body is like, okay, well, I guess I can't feel this, so I'm going to try and find some other strategy that I can use to release this emotion or to hide this emotion. Whereas if we can feel the emotion, we can sit in the feeling, our body and our mind build this deeper connection, right? Where the body trusts that the mind is listening to it. And the more that they speak, it's like a muscle, right? That we're training. The more they speak back and forth, the louder it becomes. And the more depth you create to your relationship with self. And that, my friends, is the healing journey, right? When you're so connected to self that you know that whatever is thrown at you, you're like, all right, is this tough? 100%, but can I handle it? I have the confidence that I can. And so toxic positivity makes that healing process much more challenging, even though on the surface it seems like it is doing so much good. I found, particularly in the yoga and wellness space, and just with my own journey through it, that there was this pressure to always be happy and positive, especially with my diagnosis. I would get messages from people saying, oh my gosh, it's so inspiring how you keep such a good mindset. And I was like, oh my God, I feel like such a freaking fraud, because that was just one side of the coin that I was sharing with people, that I was exposing to other people. Whereas the other side, there would be days where I legitimately would not get out of bed, or I would avoid social interactions as much as I could, because I couldn't face other people. And that just made me feel so insufficient. It made me feel like I wasn't enough, or like I wasn't doing enough, or like something was wrong with me. And that was when I kind of started to look at things, and I started to realize that in our community, in our Vibrant Yogi community, there are a lot of people going through their own stuff. And by me only sharing the positive stuff with everyone, I realized I was contributing to those own feelings, or those feelings that I was having myself. So I decided to make a commitment to myself to show not only the good stuff, but the challenging stuff. And when I show the challenging stuff, it comes from a place of look, this sucks. This is hard. This is challenging. But I try to give others the opportunity to sit with me in it. And in turn, I try to sit with others in their challenges and just help build the belief that we have the skills that we need to make it through. This brings me to a concept called emotional bypassing. And I feel like emotional bypassing and resilience can often get confused. Emotional bypassing is all about don't feel that, just move on. So on to the next, trudge forward. And that's really what happens in the world of toxic positivity. Whereas resilience says, feel the emotion fully and then rise. And so true resilience, it doesn't deny the emotion. It integrates it. It weaves it into what you are experiencing, how you are processing. And in my own journey, I've found that naming the hard things, like out loud, on paper, in the community, is what actually makes space for hope, right? When we talk about the challenging things, when we see like souls in another, right? We can identify with the fact that someone else is struggling, someone else is hurting. And that is what helps people truly get through, not telling them, chin up, it's gonna be a good day tomorrow, or you know what I mean? Like when you see, for example, another soul that has seen the challenges or the darkness that you have, and you truly see each other, it just forges a bond that is, it's absolutely priceless. And yeah, I mean, the Cancer Club, I would not wish it upon anyone, but there is just, oh man, this sisterhood with the other women who have gone through what I've gone through. And if you've gone through different challenges, maybe you've lost a child or a best friend, maybe you've gotten divorced, but when you see another soul has experienced it, that is what gives you the hope. That is what helps you with the healing. You really start to realize that you can handle these big emotions, and you no longer fear them. You are no longer like, oh my God, and always in this constant state, right? You don't need to numb out and watch Netflix. You don't need to drink until you can't feel anything. You don't need to eat to fill the void, because you know you can handle it because you've done it before. So I know at one point or another, we've all unknowingly done the whole toxic positivity thing, right? We don't know what to say. We want the person to feel better. And I mean, I am 100% guilty of it. And if you are as well, don't beat yourself up over it. But what we can do is we can learn skills to hold space. And in my book, Let It Change You, I have written an entire chapter on holding space and what it looks like. And so I wanted to just read from it some examples of what holding space looks like versus what holding space does not look like. So holding space is actively listening. It's making eye contact and hearing their actual words. It's acknowledging how the person is feeling. So I see that you're feeling sad. It's being aware of your body language. So if your arms are crossed and you seem really closed off, then that's going to close the other person off as well. It's asking questions, and with the questions, often open-ended are the best. So how have you been feeling about everything that's going on? And the other side of this coin is also sometimes people are not ready to talk about it. So asking if they're ready to talk about it, asking if they want to talk about it. And then finally, allowing the other person to lead. So if someone says, I've been so stressed lately, do you want to talk about what's stressing you out, right? We're giving them the opportunity to share as much or as little as they want. Here is what holding space does not look like. So planning your response instead of hearing what they're saying. And I've been guilty of this for sure. When someone's talking, you're formulating what you're going to say next. But instead, you want to really just be actively listening. So, this reminds me of when the same thing happened to me, right? We're turning their situation on to us. We're being a little bit ego-focused, ego-driven instead of giving them the space. holding space does not look like trying to fix the problem. Saying something like, well, that's just silly. Let's go talk to them, right? That totally shuts down any opportunity for them to share their emotions. Telling the person to feel differently than they do. Saying something like, it's okay, don't be sad. And I say this to my kids all the time and catch myself because I'm like, oh, if you're sad, if you're frustrated, if you're pissed off, that's fine. Be pissed off, and I will sit with you in that. Acting like or saying that you know what they're going through. So I know exactly how you feel. The same thing has happened to me. And this one can go either way. Sometimes it is nice to know that someone else has gone through it. But again, you're turning it around to you. We want people to be able to sit in the space and know that this space is being held for them. Passing judgment or imposing your own ideas or beliefs. So I don't see what the problem is. You're making a bigger deal than it is. And nothing is going to shut a person down quicker than that, right? Minimizing their feelings and totally trying to sweep things under the rug makes them feel so judged. And they're like, oh, okay, I am not, like, this is not a space where I can share how I'm feeling. And so those are just a couple of the strategies in Let It Change You. And I've found that as I've worked on holding space for other people, I've noticed that other people have kind of mirrored that back and in turn held space for me. And I have a few friends who are just absolutely incredible at holding space and just sitting, right? Sometimes we sit on the phone in silence, and just knowing that someone is on the other end of that phone sitting with you in what you're going through can mean everything, right? You're not shouldering the burden of the pain, the grief, whatever the challenge is on your own. So I hope that this episode has been helpful. And again, I am absolutely not throwing shade on positivity. I think that positivity is crucial in facing challenges, but it has to come with the processing of the emotions, of truly getting there, not faking the positivity, right? We all do enough slapping on a smile throughout the day. Let's really try and give ourselves time and space and the right people around us to process what we're going through and to really begin true healing. So friends, that is all for this episode. Thank you so much for spending a part of your day with me. Join me next week as we talk about my journey with yoga. And no, it's not just about the poses and the cute Lulu outfits. We're going a lot deeper than that. We'll unpack the real stuff, the breath that calms your nervous system, the stillness that reconnects you to your gut, and the small soul-level shifts that start to change everything. I'll even walk you through how the 8 limbs of yoga, things like asana, so the poses, pranayama, which is the breath work, meditation, and even things like non-attachment and self-inquiry have really helped heal me from the inside out, and they've helped to reduce the fear that can come along with a stage 4 cancer diagnosis. So if this episode has moved something inside of you, I invite you to pass it on, leave a review, or share it with a friend, and be sure to subscribe so you know when the next episode drops. And if you're looking for a space to connect more, come and join us in the Vibrant Yogi app. We have built an incredible community and would absolutely love for you to join us. Until next time, be well.